Just firstly, almost a really grandstand finish on 18 there. In what was an extraordinary morning in a way, it was almost like a different walk down 18 than you've had before, but still special.
Yeah, it was. It's funny, it's funny what you think about when you're out there, but I thought Justin Rose, as I was over that chip shot, and what he did at Birkdale, I thought that would have been pretty cool to finish like that, and almost did. But yeah, look, it was nice today. I got off to a nice start, and the crowds were amazing. They got behind me the whole day, and I just, it was probably one of the most enjoyable rounds of golf I've had in a while. You know, I'm happy I finished like that, and I'll drive down the road, you know, a little bit happier than maybe I would have been. But you know, it's still a week of like, yeah, I put a lot into it and didn't get much out of it type thing. So onwards and upwards, I suppose, and a couple of weeks off now before the playoffs.
Tell me about the fourth. I mean, obviously you birdied the third. You almost had a hole in one of the third, and then you put it into the hole from 183 yards in the fourth, and kick-start 6 birdies in 10 holes.
Yeah, it was the same number as the third, so it was, you know, same club, and I missed it a little bit, but there was room out to right, and obviously got a lucky bounce and rolled down and in. It was nice to kind of keep the momentum going, and you know, obviously you're thinking if you can make par, birdie 5, birdie 7, that's kind of what's going through your head. But yeah, it was nice, and then, you know, the putter got hot, and I felt like I was going to hold every putt I looked at out there for a while, which hasn't been the case for a few weeks, so that was nice today.
Shane, the Ryder Cup, you've already said that's now the focus from here on. This has been like a very big dark cloud on your horizon for quite some time, and you haven't had the week you wanted. But is that just golf? You say it yourself.
Yeah, it is. Like, obviously, I would have liked to do better this week. There's no doubt about that. But you know, it is what it is. I tried my best. I gave it everything I could, and it wasn't to be. And for me now, the next 2 months, obviously the playoffs are huge, but my focus and my work will be getting out of bed every morning to prepare for, hopefully, you know, going to Bethpage and winning that Ryder Cup. I think it's a big thing for us Europeans, and it's a big thing for me. And yeah, major season is over now, so everything turns towards the Ryder Cup.
Shane, these 2 Portrush Opens have been very special sporting occasions on the island of Ireland. How soon would you like to see the Open returning to
next year,
or obviously to Portmarnock in the future as well?
Yeah, obviously it's incredible. Like, it's I think, you know, Darren and I were talking about it on the course. It's like watching it even on TV yesterday evening, how great the place looks, and obviously, you know, a bit of nice weather helps. But I think the feedback from players, from everyone involved, is how much they liked this tournament and how much they like this venue. As regards Portmarnock, obviously I've heard that they're talking about it. I've heard it might go there. Be amazing. 30 minutes from my house. I'll be able to stay home playing an Open. And I think it's one of the best golf courses in the world. So I think it's good enough to host an Open, and hopefully it will soon.
But to have the eyes of the world on these sporting occasions on this island, just how special do you think
it's great. And you know, I obviously travel the world, and I live in America, and you know, everybody I talk to wants to come to Ireland and play golf. And I think you know, people sitting at home in the States or all around the world watching this tournament on TV, it's going to make them want to come even more. So it's great to have tournaments like this here, and you know, it's great that like we've got players that are in the tournaments competing well in it too. And you know, like obviously, hopefully Rory can give it a decent run today.
Shane, do you think a week like this, when a few things went wrong, will give you an even greater appreciation of what you managed to achieve here in 2019?
I think so, yeah. I really do. I've thought about it a bit. You know, I'm very lucky to achieve what I did in 2019, and you know, I never dwell on it, and I don't, you know, I don't want to live off it, but you know, to be able to go out and win this tournament on this course was a very, very cool thing to be able to do. And you know, I really, you know, it probably made me want it too much this week. I really wanted to give myself a chance this week, and I'd love to be on to the first tee now, but I'm finished, and I'll go home and I'll cheer Rory on, hopefully up the back 9.
Shane, there was a special atmosphere then on the 18th. Just talk me through your emotions there as you covered up. Seems to be.
Yeah, it was great all day. You know, the crowds are amazing. We're very lucky in Ireland to have the support we do. You know, our people get behind our sports people very well, and I felt every bit of that today. I loved the walk down 18 was very, very special, and I was obviously thinking it was a little bit different the last time I did it, but yeah, it was nice, and it was nice to see the crowd come out today, and thankfully I put on a little bit of a show for them.
Shane, you mentioned the Ryder Cup a minute ago. Where would an away Ryder Cup win rank in your career achievements?
Yeah, it would be up there with everything else. I think I'm not sure, I can't speak for other players, but I personally put it way up there, preparing, getting ready, trying to make the team, trying to go there and win. There's probably not many days go by that I don't think about it. I think, it would be up there, and I would love to achieve something like that.
Sort of because Whistling Straits was quite sort of a tough week for Europe as well.
Yeah, it was hard, but then you get to experience Rome and how great that was, and there's obviously a lot of talk about Bethpage this year, but I do think as a team and as obviously Luke and we've got a lot of continuity from the last one with his setup, and I feel like he'll have us best prepared as he can going into it.
The reception you get in New York will be slightly different
this
week.
Yeah.
Have you thought about how you handle that, about how all the people around you handle that, and what might be?
Yeah, we've talked about it. There's no doubt we've talked about it, but like it's still ongoing, and you have to figure out a way to deal with certain stuff, and it might not be as bad as they say. People say it will be bad, but we'll see. And I think if you're prepared for something, you'll deal with it okay. I think when something happens and you're not prepared for it, that's when it gets hard. But we'll be prepared. Luke Donald will prepare his team very well, and we'll be ready to go.
Very few players anywhere when you go around the world get to experience what you and Rory got to experience this week. There's been a lot of talk about fulfillment around Scottie and that. Do you leave this week fulfilled because of all the moments you had, even without the silverware?
Yeah, like I leave this week probably. Yeah, it's hard, because when you put so much into something and get so little out of it, it's hard. And I know Scottie talked about enjoying his win for 2 minutes. I think I enjoyed mine a little bit longer than that, but everyone's different, everyone's different, and I think you've got to enjoy the moments as best you can, because when you put all that work in and you get to experience that, it's very, very cool. What do I take from this week? I felt like my game was really good in a lot of parts. I felt like I didn't score very well the first 2 days, and then obviously what happened, and then yesterday, that's out of my control. And then I felt like I went out there and did well today to kind of redeem myself a little bit, and leave the place with a better taste in my mouth. But yeah, like I'll think about this I'm going away with the family for the next few days, and I'll be thinking about it every day. Like I'll be thinking about what happened, and everything that went into it, and how can I get better, how can I improve. And when it comes around the next time, how can I be better?
Everyone feeling better?
No, Wendy and Irish are still not great. They're going back down to Dublin, so yeah.
I appreciate it wasn't in play for you today, but what's the feeling when Scottie's playing like he's playing?
Well, I played with him the first 2 days, and honestly, I thought he was going to birdie every hole. It was incredible to watch. I said to Bones, actually, he was with our group. We talked about it. I saw his comments yesterday. It is incredible to watch. I wouldn't say he's unbeatable, because he's been beaten a few times, but when he's like that, it's when he starts getting that putter rolling, it's he's a hard person to beat. And even like today, you look at the scoreboard and you sort of think, I think if Rory can get off to a really hot start and get the crowd behind him, it might make it difficult for Scottie, but people make it difficult for him all the time, and he comes out the other side of it, so who knows.
Rory said yesterday he was inevitable.
Yeah, I saw that interview, and I thought, he probably regrets saying that word, but I think, it's, I think, honestly, if Scottie's feet stayed stable and his swing looked like Adam Scott's, we'd be talking about him in the same words as Tiger Woods. I just think because it doesn't look so perfect, we don't talk about him like that. I think he's just incredible to watch, and his bad shots are really good, and that's when you know he's really good.
Thanks, Shane.